Hey.
Eric, can you hear?
Yara, como você tá?
Yada, getting better.
Yep.
Every day. Thanks, God.
On.
I think you've got a little bit of a delay there, Eric.
Yep. Good to hear that.
He's in Brazil. There's always a lag
problems.
there.
That's no fun.
Yeah, Eric, you've got a delay. I think if we do the maybe you need to call in.
Okay, or maybe just directly on my phone because I'm hotspotting it from my phone now. We're installing the internet. A internet não tá pronto não, né? Internet não tá pronto não, né? Yep.
I'm the only one to understand here.
Yeah, we just moved to a new house and the internet was like getting ready today, but not ready yet. So, is it better now, Justin?
I don't know.
Yeah,
let's do the one count. 1,
2,
3,
4.
It's a little better. All right.
Yeah.
Know that Eric's got a bit of a delay. All right, Eric, take us away, man.
Welcome, one and all, to Creative Cash Partners Office Hours. Thank you for friends, colleagues, associates, business partners who keep joining us. We have got quite a bit of interesting business discussions. Justin and I have spent the whole morning talking about how to shake things up and how to build the business of our dreams to get the, I don't want to call it passive income because I don't think passive income really exists. It's just a scale. Like even if you just invest in a stock, it's not truly passive. You've got to log in, you got to check, you got to sell it, you got to do it. Like, you know, but a much less involvement, like, you know, 1 to 2 hours a day kind of business, how we can get our business more to that point and get more businesses like that. So that is exciting. The lake house story continues on. We will hopefully have the approval from the county in Minnesota to split the lots up officially on September 4th at the next meeting.
Next week.
Yep. We've also got some super interesting changes that we're working on to get much lower rates for much better borrowers. We interviewed our fix and flipper yesterday. That's a good friend of mine, actually, Victor Jirasek. And I've had tons and tons of conversations with him, but it was nice to actually get something recorded on a Zoom call with our marketing team there too. We talked with him just about all the things he wants in a lender. Obviously, it's got to be reasonable rates and points and fees, 10 to 12% annualized with monthly payments, 1 to 2 points, and a couple of fees here and there at most. But he is doing, you know, he's on flip number 225 now. He does about 50 a year consistently. And we are working on targeting more people like him, which means we have to have just much lower, essentially just a tiny little bit above what we're paying to the capital partners. We're gonna have capital partners at 10 to 12%. But again, monthly payments, simple borrowers, all of those good things happening there. So that is what is going on in the Creative Cash Partners world. So for the next 26 minutes and potentially more if needed, but with all the things going on in my house, I probably better help out on that. That's what we got. So that's what we're up to. Geraldo, obrigado por ficar aqui conosco.
Olha, brasileiro ali.
Obrigado, prazer estar aqui.
Também está em Santa Catarina?
Eu não, eu tô na Califórnia.
Legal.
Justin, looks like you're outnumbered for the Brazilians.
I'm outnumbered for the Brazilians. Yes, I should have my wife come on. She can talk to everybody in Filipino.
Yeah, you should learn some Portuguese and Filipino then. That would be nice.
Yeah,
I got your back, Justin.
You got what?
Oh,
you
I got your back.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah.
It wasn't showing the video tile, so yeah. I guess we're perfectly split unless I'm missing someone else that's actually on. It's not just a Fathom recorder or a video. Like Brian, are you on here, Brian?
I am.
How's it going, Brian? Okay, never mind.
Good. How are you guys doing today?
Still got more English Geez, but yeah, we're doing well.
We have quite a few folks on here. We've got Harless Meters, Brian McMullen, Yara, June, welcome. Geraldo, good to see you again. Aaron, as always, glad to have you on. And then we have Shamik and oh my, I'm gonna say this wrong. I think Tinku, Tinku. Correct me if I pronounce that wrong because I want to know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, that's correct. You were right.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Great to meet you and glad to have you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we like to give our brief updates in office hours. Sometimes there's a theme to it where we're teaching, like Justin and Mariel were teaching underwriting recently, but a lot of times we just want to leave it open to talk about our business and have questions, kind of like a traditional professor style office hours, and also just talk about your business, learn what you've got going, learn what you need and what you're up to. So yeah, thanks for joining us. So we've got some familiar faces and what I think are some new faces on here. So feel free to unmute and tell us a little bit about what you're up to and how we can help you. Go ahead, Brian. How you doing?
Good, guys. Sorry, I'm always willing to talk. I don't know if it's valuable though.
I'm sure it is.
So yeah, I mean, I'm learning everything. You guys are the masters. You know, I'm trying to learn from you guys how you guys run your business, what you guys are doing, and trying to figure out ways to connect. So I'm always just sitting in here listening and learning, right? But I've been struggling with the underwriting, yes, I can learn more for sure and all those things, but I've been struggling finding money lately. A lot of my projects have come back recently, the last 2-3 months, and my funder, and I'm doing deal by deal, right? I don't have a fund yet or like that. And a lot of my lenders the money went out for 6 months, let's say, and some of it's coming back in 5 months, some of it's coming back in 6 months, some of it's coming 7 months, maybe even close to 8 months, right? But they're getting their money back. I was confident with the borrowers I'm working with that they're going to get their money back, and they did, and they got a great return. Okay, great, let's do this again. And they're backing out. I got a lot of people right now just saying, hey, I'm kind of not, I'm going to hold my money for a while. I'll come back in a month. I'm like, I got deals now, let's go. And so is that something you guys are having problems with at all?
Not right at the moment.
Yeah,
We've got part of that is we have one very, very large capital partner and multiple additional capital partners who will also fund. I've had one person who had a deal. He ended up making way more. It did go long.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's part of the game. Like if you're a capital partner and you don't plan on your money potentially hanging out a little bit longer if a borrower runs into a problem, or even if they don't run into a problem necessarily and they just don't bother to pay, as the lender, you're going to collect that house and take it away from them, and that's going to take time to get that money back. But oftentimes it ends up being quite a bit more that you ended up making than you planned on. So I have had, we had one capital partner. I think he probably would lend with us again, but it wasn't, for whatever reason, he didn't want to immediately deploy it back out. And that could be a variety of reasons. Could be just maybe some other alternative thing he wants to put it in. Doesn't want to disclose that, whatever that is. I don't know, but it's worth asking.
Yeah, I think it's partly, and I'm saying this because we're just vetting things out. I figure if I'm learning from other people, then you guys should learn from me. It's the way you start your business, and then it's how you are able to progress. So, for example, I started with lending my own money. I liked that. I brought some friends in. They liked it, and it's kind of grown. But I haven't really gotten to the point where I've got, and you mentioned like a big donor that says, hey, put my money in, earn me, let's go. My people are more onesie twosie. They have their own money and I haven't really gotten to that point where it's more institutionalized, for lack of a better word, and more, consistent. I think I'm doing a lot of, I don't know, I'm bringing a lot of people on that don't know about lending, and they're all scared maybe. And I have to get them past that point. And I think that's probably what I'm dealing with a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, you might have to host your own version of office hours for the capital partners and just talk through things like what are the concerns they have. Dispel some of the.
You know what? I have done that.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for about a month. Every Monday afternoon, I've gotten, one day I might get one person come on out of the 50 or 60 or people that I work with. And the next day I get two, and the next week I get zero. So I haven't figured out how to market it as a benefit to them. I think that's what I'm kind of working on next. But I love, I know I'm taking tips from you guys. You guys, like I said, I'm not kidding when I say that. I really appreciate you guys sharing the wisdom and giving us all a chance, giving us all something like a platform to kind of move forward and move toward. So I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you. That doesn't always necessarily translate to how we feel, but I really appreciate that feedback.
You guys are doing great, and I honestly, that's
business too.
That's the God's honest truth.
Figuring out, what we need to do as well. Try going.
Yeah,
I see. Interesting.
On the office hours comment too, Brian, it's just you just keep doing what you're doing, and you're always going to have varied results. We've had office hours with tons of people on there. We've had office hours where it was just Justin and I, and then like one person hopped on, and just a very small conversation. It's been, you never know.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the consistency is what you guys have done, and that's really what I'm trying to do as well. So
yeah. You're gonna have days. I mean, we've definitely had those days where you log in and Eric and I are just staring at our ugly mugs together, and we're like, interesting. All right, well, let's talk to each other. And if somebody sees it and it offers some value, then great. But we've also had times, like today, obviously we got about 11 people on. We've had days where we're sitting at 30 people. It just all kind of depends. And the nature of office hours too is it's a very varied topic. It is primarily a lot of Q&A. We will throw in some office hours where we'll talk specifically about a specific topic. Today's more Q&A. So for a lot of people, they get their question answered, and they're good to go. Some people like to listen in and to all the questions and listen to all the answers, and that's valuable to them. So it just depends. But
before I'll stop talking. I promise everybody. But like last week, I stepped into a little bit late, and it was underwriting, and I love that because I need to hear what other people are doing, and so that was really great. So I love the way you guys are doing this. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'll step off. I'll let someone else have the stage.
Yeah, well, I think June, you offered an interesting comment about SBIC lenders, and I'm just pulled up the website. So this looks super interesting with all these different sources, how big their fund is, what their average style is, what their strategy is. Tell us more. Have you worked with them directly before?
See, no, I haven't. I just found their list last week when I was listening to government funding and a seminar on government funding. But some of these guys have $145 million, and they're just holding it, and they give to private business owners. So, and I think there's a list of 500 people. Gives you their name, their phone number, how big their fund is, and I would love to raise $1 million. Right now I'm flipping houses, but I'm also doing some wholesaling, and I never have enough funds because my first flip, I've only been doing it for about a year. My first flip brought me 40 grand, and I'm waiting on the second flip to be done, which will bring about 250. But that 250 can't come soon enough because 40,000 in 1 year is almost poverty.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the wholesaling has been hard for me. I'm trying to scale my business because I'm doing everything. I'm doing, I'm just like a one-man shop right now. So anyway, I found that last week, and I'm going to start calling because they have their phone numbers and their name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if they would fund an individual fix and flipper, and I wonder if any of them would even fund like what Justin and I are doing, where they would give money to fix and flippers that we have ran the whole business for, and they're just basically sending the money and we're taking care of all of it.
Yeah.
I also think, like, I'm pulling up the website here that you put in the chat. Thanks for sharing that. Let me share screen. So this is a super interesting directory here where it's got the name, the year, fund size, average investment strategy, fund style, make the investor relations name, contact number. That's incredible. But also, I love how they made this a question. Are they making new investments? Yes or no? That was a genius idea to put that on the site so that we don't waste our time on all these people who said no, I'm not taking new investments. You almost wonder why they have their name and contact number there in the first place. I mean, maybe you offer different services, but I just love that. It's like people have clearly stated if they're willing to hear something out or not. I'm just not sure how much of them would fund like just an individual fix and flippers business or like a small lending business like Justin and I have,
Right.
versus a more traditional like business owner. But I could be surprised. I think that, you know, it looks like it's very, you know, it's not like a singular focus. There's strategies and there's investment types that are kind of spanning all over the place. So if you try enough people, you might get one that's like, oh, sure, I'll fund you.
Well, I'm getting ready to make an offer on 2 apartment buildings next week. One of them's worth 38 million and the other is worth 26 million. So instead of reaching out to a bunch of investors, which is what I planned to do, I'm going to reach out to this list so I can get my down payment. The down payment on the loan is going to be about $10 million. And if I can just get it from one person, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. So what state are you based in, June?
North Carolina.
Awesome. That's, yeah, it's a great spot with a lot of good apartments. And how many fix and flips or other real estate deals have you done so far?
So I've done 3 fix and flips in the last year, and then I have done probably 4 wholesale deals.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're onto something big, and I think that you can make a lot of incredible things happen. I also think that a lot of the bigger lenders would be a little bit cautious if there's not like an experienced partner who's already run multifamily before, not trying to pop the balloon or anything, just trying to let you know that like the first thing they're going to ask you is how many other multifamily deals have you done and executed successfully like this? So it's possible to, you know, and I don't want to say anything's impossible, but it's usually going to be a lot faster and easier to execute these deals if you partner up with Nate Barger, Mike Healy, like several other people who are doing large multifamily deals in North Carolina. And if you have a deal under contract, that's a really good deal, then they will partner with you, even if it's at the very least just give you a wholesale fee. But you know, a lot of them, if you're going to put sweat equity in, they would let you be of some sort on that deal. So I would recommend considering that route as well.
Yeah, I'm involved with a group that the tax lien code, and they have a whole division for apartment buildings, and they are basically you get a sponsor and somebody sponsors you who has done it, and you don't have to put up any of your own money. I would be like the syndicator for the deal, and I would also be what's called the deal finder. And they'll pay me 5% on the back end when the properties sell. So, I mean, just based on the current value of the properties, I mean, that would be $1.5 million for me. That's my retirement. So, so I'm looking for one of those guys to sponsor me.
Got it. Yeah, that strategy makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like an advanced bird dog strategy where you're the deal finder, and more than just a finder, you're the contractor and the negotiator. Essentially, someone else is going to have their skin in the game, which is really important. And especially in multifamily, someone else is going to have their credentials, their sponsorship, their money. Although the part that's kind of interesting is that you're doing multiple roles here, because you're not just a deal finder. If you have to find 10 million worth of capital, that's the part that seems a little bit out of balance, really. Like, if you're finding 10 million worth of capital for this deal, but somebody else is getting 95% of the equity, like whoever's getting 95% of the equity, you're just getting 5%. That person getting the 95% should be doing the capital raise, because you found the
They
deal,
are.
or at least
They
the
are,
capital raise.
but I mean, if I could raise the money myself, then it would be better. Because then I would make more money.
Yeah, like you'd be able to tell them like, hey, I'm going to find the deal and the capital, and you're going to sponsor it still, but now I need a bigger equity portion because I did the capital raise. Like there's three things that you need basically: the deal, the capital, and the know-how. So under that hypothesis, you're bringing 2 out of the 3. You're bringing the deal and the capital. You're just not bringing the know-how. So that, the equity should be shifted if you brought the deal and the capital.
Right. Well, I'm going to do everything I can to try to make it work. It's my retirement.
Yep.
But if it doesn't go through, then that's experience under my belt.
Joan, I put my phone number in the side chat. Can you please take it and call me? Thanks.
Sure.
Yeah. Sounds good. We're glad to have everybody connect and get that stuff happening. So, yeah, I mean, this is where lots of money can be made, lots of money can be lost. I was previously teaching at the University of Florida, making almost 6 figures, not quite there, but in one single deal, I've made more than that several times and lost more than that several times. So a lot can happen. A lot can happen in business. And Justin and I in Creative Cash Partners, we've probably got a lot more education than actual paychecks in terms of like the value of what we've learned from building the business. I would say is more than just the paycheck that we got. Like, if I could choose one or the other, like all the money I've made in Creative Cash Partners or all the things I've learned and just give back one, I'd rather keep what I've learned through this experience.
Yeah, it's valuable. Yeah.
Yep. I can see Justin's got some thoughts going.
I was just going to say I'd take the money too, but I mean, yeah.
Some money, right? At least.
Yeah, you got to have enough. I mean, my basic thought is you've got to establish yourself to where you've got enough to feed your family comfortably and everything. Like, once you're comfortable, the sky's the limit. Because then once you're comfortable and you're mostly passive, like it's not a massive hassle to keep that business going, then you're free with your time and your expertise and your knowledge to go do whatever other business you want, whatever other hobbies. Like, if you can be focused and diligent, it's really not that tough to get to the $10,000 a month mark. Right? Even if it's just a solopreneur that's brokering business loans or whatever you're doing, like, and then you start hiring VAs and employees or some more systems and stuff, like it's really not that hard. There's a lot of people and a lot of ways to do it to get to 10K a month and less than half time effort. So if you're not at that spot yet, work for that, fight for that, get to that. And then it's just, you're so much more free to do all the other stuff you want to do. Ben Bayless is on here. How you doing, Ben?
Hi, Eric. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. I'm seeing a camo jacket and is that a metal roof, an industrial building?
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. I can PM you later to give you an update of status.
Love it.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to hear it. This is the little dose of Ben Bayless that I needed for my Friday.
Cool.
Well, yeah, thank you guys for joining. Who else has any questions? Who else has either a question or want to talk and tell us about what you're doing in your business right now, what's going on, what you're struggling with, the good, the ugly. Who else wants to wants to share something with us.
I'm curious. I don't know what your thoughts are, so that's why I'm curious. If you have rental units that are not making money, but are basically just sitting stagnant or losing some finances, if you put more money into those units, or you like basically pay off those units, is it easier to sell them as rentals if they're paid off? Or is it easier to sell them as rentals? Like, what is your thought about basically trying to make it so that it's not losing money and so that you could possibly potentially sell them as rentals?
I feel your pain on that, because I've got several. Like the summer of 2023 was bad. I was in full visionary mode. I bought several homes that I thought were good deals. I had realtors with comps that told me they were good deals. They weren't. And some of them are still rentals now that I'm just trying to get rid of. And, you know, I'm in that situation. Basically, if there's a rental that's negative cash flow already, then I would get rid of it. And that's what I'm doing. I've got one that's negative cash flow because it wasn't supposed to be, it was supposed to be a flip, but we just needed more time to get it out. Anyways, if it's negative cash flow, get rid of it. Even some small positive cash flow rentals, you know, the best vendors out there are telling you to get rid of it unless you're super positive that it's going to appreciate, right? And that's even a little bit uncertain because, like, you know, we've had a wave of lots and lots of appreciation, and most people are predicting that it's going to be a little bit more flat over the next 5 years. No one's got a crystal ball. No one can predict it or know for sure. But, you know, I've had even a rental that was a short-term rental that was cranking out great money. It had a 2013 HVAC system in Florida, and we're like, oh, this HVAC's got another 10 years. I've had HVACs last 20 years for me, you know? My gosh, it went out and they just couldn't fix it. It was gone. So, you know, all the cash flow that I made, like think about a 10K AC bill for a new AC, like it's just gone. Like the roof, the AC, the heating, the electrical, like there's, unless you're making massive amounts of cash flow, like $3,000 a month, $2,000 a month on a rental, you're just making like several $100 a month on the rentals. That's not really true cash flow, because that should be going into the reserves account. And then when the roof needs to be replaced, the HVAC, the whatever, that's what pays for that. So, you know, talk with like our mentors like Cody Barton. He said the same thing. He's owned real estate for 10 years. He hardly made any money on positive cash flowing rentals because, you know, bills might not pop up in year 1 or year 2, but you hold stuff for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you're going to get hit with a big bill. Yep. And that's going to wipe out a bunch of cash flow. So if you're in an area that is not poised to depreciate a bunch, then get rid of it, right? Even if you've got like a several $100 a month cash flow, you're going to get hit with bills. It's not going to make sense. Get rid of it.
So how do you get rid of it is I guess part of my question.
Sell it for a loss. Like I've had to sell properties for a loss. It sucks, but you just got to do it.
Okay, gotcha. So just take the cut and sell it for less and move on. Gotcha.
Yeah, and there's two different equations here, right? There's the value of your time and the value of your money. So with my with some of my rentals, like from financial perspective, it's not worth it. But even bigger than the financial perspective, even though I'm going to take a loss on it, just the time, the hassle, right? Like I don't own 100 units to where I've got a full-time manager and a full-time plumber and electrician and roofer and team and like whatever I need, those guys can go out and fix it. Like, no, I'm paying a property manager 10 to 20% depending on the property, and they don't care. I mean, like they care a little bit, but not nearly as much as you do. Like stuff goes under the cracks. They don't love your house like you will. They're not usually incredible at doing it. You know, it's yeah. So even though I've got a property manager, I'm not managing them directly. I've got a property manager. Stuff still always comes back to me. Like, Eric, well, what about what about this? Eric, what about that? Eric, what about this? And then I'm also on them. Like, did you replace the AC filter? No, it's been months. Why hasn't it been replaced? Did you do this? Like, did you do the tune-up? And like, well, what about this? Like, the AC bill was super high. Was it wrong? Like, there's always stuff. So it's just so much hassle and so much time that I could use that time to do a lot more with my business than to be fiddling around with 1 or 2 or 3 rentals. It's like economies of scale. It's an inefficient operation on my time to own only a few rentals. So how many doors do I own? Like in some cases, very few that I'm the 100% owner of. I've got a small handful of them, and I'm selling all of them. I own hundreds and hundreds of doors as a minority owner, and so does Justin, of RV parks and multifamilies. And guess who calls us about the insurance? Guess who calls us about the AC bill? Guess who calls us about the HVAC? Guess who calls us about the water heater that leaked? Nobody. They don't even have our phone numbers because we're the minority owners. The majority owners are the ones who have to manage the managers, and who the managers call and bug. Like, I was on a phone call with one of the majority owners, and he was like, yeah, Eric, I'd love to talk with you, but I've got to get going because there was a problem with some of the systems here in this RV park. Like, it's not all the time. They've got good managers and stuff, but it's an inefficient operation. Why would I want to own just 5 rentals? It's like, I can't hire somebody full time to work for me off of the cash flow of 5 rentals. If you're going to do rentals, have like 100, 200, 300, have enough to where you can have a full-time team to run it. Otherwise, it's like an inefficient small business. That's been my life experience. So that's, like, somebody else might have a better model or a better system than me, but most of the other people that I know who have followed in that footsteps would agree with me that they have a similar experience. Like, they don't want to just have a handful of single family rentals. It's just an inefficient small business that doesn't really make a whole lot of money or reward you for all the time you need to put into it.
Yeah.
So where are you going to sell them then?
The MLS, it's just the open market, the best offer. I mean, I'm also open to creative on some of them. Like, if somebody wants to give me a lower offer, but then seller finance the rest of it or that kind of stuff, like I can get creative if I need to, or like rent to own. Like, somebody gives me a 10 or 20K deposit, and then they either buy it or they don't, and then they leave, and we get the next buyer to give a 10, 20K deposit and then pay rent and maybe buy it. Like, you can get creative strategies, but if your home is polished and like it's renovated, it's livable, and it's a decent looking home with comps, then your highest and best source of money is to just list it on the MLS.
I have 3 brand new 2022 maybe.
Yep.
Homes that I thought, oh, well, I'll just do, more than one because I heard that was bad. I'll do 3. And yeah, like, they're just not, I don't know. I just listened to the wrong teacher. I was led the wrong direction. So, yeah.
Where are the homes located?
Jacksonville,
Florida?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been to Jacksonville quite a few times.
It's with JWB. It's with Greg Cohen.
Okay, so
So property management is legit there. I mean, it's not like the property management is bad. The property management has been good and they've dealt with the problems, but the problem is that what I once thought was a lane of making a passive investment to grow is questionable at this point, I guess, basically.
yeah. So what would happen if you listed it and sold it on market? Like, what's the value based on the comps, and what would it probably sell for if you just put it on the MLS? Well, I mean, you don't have to say the specific values, but like, would you not get a check in your pocket? Would you have to pay to actually sell it?
I'm not a real estate agent, so it's still a little bit new to me, if that makes sense. I was just trying to do passive investing that I thought would make money. So I didn't actually go in it to become a rocket scientist or You know, like I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'm all in now. I'm gonna, you know,
Did you sink quite a bit of money into these? You know, not like you have to like say the specific
I
amounts,
did
but
sink a bit of money into it. I mean, I would, to my understanding of what the city said, because I called the city, they're like, oh, well, this is what it's priced at now. Like, it hasn't, it's increased a little bit in the real estate market as far as value, just a little bit, but it hasn't lost money. And they're brand new, so they're really nice, you know, looking places and well kept. And you know, it is a really good property management company. So like, you know, I mean, they're good with it. It's just not something that I, you know, what you just said completely makes sense at this point, but I didn't know that when I started out, right? So the whole idea of having a lot more, the whole idea of you know, doing the commercial buildings versus, you know, 3 rentals, you know, just all of that makes so much more sense to me now that I have been growing for the last few years, but I didn't know that then, right? So.
Yeah. So did you put like a 20% down payment on each of those homes?
I think it was more like 40.
Whoa. That's a lot. Well, if the homes haven't lost value, then you should be able to.
It's a little crazy even because my credit score is like 800 and around 830, basically. It like goes up and down a little bit. And they're 8.25% rate on them, which is insane for who I am. Like I just got scored on massively by everybody. So yeah. Yep. No, not good.
With all the down payment that you put on those, like of course there's going to be realtors fees and commissions and title fees and all that kind of stuff, but you should find a rock star realtor in Jacksonville who could maybe give you a cut instead of like 6% commission, maybe 5% to sell all 3 of them. Just get the highest and best price. It's a pretty good time to list now relative to the last few months because there's a rate cut coming in September is what has been announced and expected. So you'll have a little bit more buyers and a little more eager. Find the rockstar realtor, negotiate with them, get what they can do for you, sell all 3 of those. And then I would suggest to be like more of a passive partner for now. Just find a really good investment.
Oh yeah.
Fund.
No, I
Get your monthly paycheck, like whatever, 12% annualized. 12% annualized is addicting, right? With a monthly paycheck. If you've got 100K out, that's 1K a month. You get no worries, no muss, no fuss. You just make more money. You put more in. 200, 300K, that's 3K a month. It's not even a business. It's just your money growing and you living off of that. So those are the steps that I would follow if I were you. And then like try to do a challenge that some of my mentors have told me that I should have listened to more in the summer of 2023 is just whatever next business you do, try to do it without using your own money as much as possible.
Absolutely. I already have people lined up that I mean, I have a few people in my life like yourself and Justin who are like seriously just legit. And those people are like, do not sign up for anything without letting me run the underwriting and the comps because this is enough. So like I appreciate the legit business, you know, and Brian was kind of wondering like, well, why aren't people investing and whatever at this point? And I think it's because the mentors that are out there that are big business mentors, not minus Pace, I understand, but in general are scoring massively on investors and are out to greedily take for themselves while destroying anybody else.
Yep.
Like literally destroying. Let me see if I can put my boot down hard enough on you. It's not nice. It's not okay. And I appreciate what you two are doing. And we've already had this conversation.
Yep. I understand what where you're coming from. I, prior to Pace, had 2 mentorships. They were garbage and they were just losses. Ben knows this story. But yeah, I've been through 2 that were just complete garbage. They taught nothing. I mean, I could I can't let you see the pages because it's proprietary, but I mean, I could literally show privately the pages of mentors where it was over $10,000 investment, and you go in there, and the page, it's a Facebook page, very much like Pace's, where people ask questions. Now, Pace's community, people ask questions, people jump in who are actually doing deals. Some are doing them better than others, but there are real people doing deals who actually do understand what they're doing, mixed in with people who don't. But you go into this community and somebody just asks a very basic question, like something like he teaches about this one guy that I invested in teaches about doing a lease option. You can do a lease option. Go through the whole course, and everybody has the same question, and there's no answer. Like, you can see it. People go through the course, they ask a question, and he's got like high schoolers who are running the Facebook page. Like, you go to their, like, who is this person responding to me? And you go look at their page, and they're like, like playing Minecraft or what? I don't even know what Fortnite.
Right.
There it is. Like, they're doing like Fortnite video games. And I'm like, I'm sorry, for real? I paid $10,000 for a mentorship, and that's the dingbat that's answering me. That's the that's the nunyuk that's answering me. Like, who the heck are you? And why are you telling me what I need to know about it? And the answer is always the same. Did you watch the videos? Yep, I did. That's the question that I have after watching it. Well, watch the videos again and
oh my gosh,
the notes. Yeah. Like, no. So there are tons of mentorships out there where it's just a list of videos. There are no further questions that you can ask. You watch the videos, and they got their 10K from you. And they're happy.
Right.
Hey, Justin. May I ask something? Are those mentors there someone from the community, Sub 2? Because there are so many now that they are coaches.
There are people from Sub 2 that are like developing their own coaches, and I have no idea what the quality of them are. I mean, I've met a couple who seem to be running some reputable coaching, but I'd be hesitant to recommend a specific one because I've never been in one of those. This particular one's a very big player who speaks on large stages, so I'm going to keep his name off of this live Zoom that goes on my YouTube.
Okay, so
you're welcome
to the name.
You are welcome to DM me, and I will tell you privately exactly who it is, and not to invest in their mentorship.
Right.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend investing in Pace's community. It is not I highly recommend it, and know that you need to vet every single person that you go and run it.
Yes. Well, I've been taken by a couple in that way, as well as some other stuff. But I do think that Pace, tried to bring some correction to it. He tried to, he did make a couple moves in regards to the person to, be like, no. Mm-mm.
It's a community of 16,000 investors.
Right.
And the screening that goes into getting them into the community is, are you interested in investing? And do you have money? So you can pay to get in there. And the fact of the matter is, even though it is Pace's community, and even though he's working hard to build a good and upright community, the reality is it is still ripe. The price point is still okay for like a scammer to get in there and take people. Right. So you got take your time, learn what you need to learn. And I'm sure there's plenty of scammers that are in the community They pay
There are
because
so many,
it's more.
and they're growing every day.
You think about it. If I could pay $10,000 to get into a community and then take a bunch of brand new investors and say, I'm
Right.
all about this, and I can take your money and make it into this big, I can make so much more for you.
Right.
Send your money outside of title to me, and I will make you tons of money. And then you send your money, and I mean, I've got friends who have sent money outside of title, and that person is laughing their way to the bank because they can't be traced.
So sad.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you gotta be really careful.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Thank you, Michelle, for that. And
Thanks for sharing.
Well, and if I said any names, please, delete that or cut them out. I didn't
Hearing any,
need to say any. Huh?
I don't remember hearing any names.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Like, that's not my intention. My intention is just to say, if there are people in Jacksonville that would like brand new, really nice rentals with a really nice rental company, by all means, let's make a deal.
With Michelle. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be happy to help people, but it's not my lane, right? I mean, that's the big thing I've learned.
Yeah.
What is your lane and what is not your lane?
Sure.
What is your investing and what is not your investing? I've literally turned down major opportunities for big multifamily things because I was like, nope, I am not skilled or aware enough to make those decisions, right?
Yeah.
Like knowing yourself and knowing your own risk and knowing your own ability and knowing yourself, I mean, is huge.
Yep. For sure. Absolutely.
Which I love about Pace because he has the whole like, what's your avatar? What's your, I mean, he literally is trying to help people in every way possible to not just grow, but to successfully, grow without ruining them, right?
Yep. For sure.
He's not about, let me see if I can ruin this person, thankfully.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Michelle.
Thank you.
Do I still have time for a question?
Absolutely.
Yes. Out.
Okay, so I want to, since you guys are talking about those rentals that does not cash flow, I am in the same situation now. I had to take over from a bad partner, take the property. It's only my name now, and I am renting it, but it's not cash flow. So now a friend of mine from the community suggests me to, instead of renting long term, I should have some veterans there. They said you could rent the same room for two people. So instead having just one long term, you could make more money. But I signed a contract with them in April for a year. And now I think they are being late twice. But then they are paying the late fee and it's okay. I'm prepared for them to not pay this month because whenever there is a holiday, they don't pay rent on time. That's what the property manager told me. And that's what happened before. So my question is, should I, let's say if it keeps happens one more time that I have to give eviction notice, would it be wise to ask them to leave and put more money in the house that's not cash flowing in order to get those veterans there? Or should I just wait for the contract to expire and then I could have the change, make the change there? I just want your input. Like, should I put more money in something that's not cash flowing right now?
Yeah. I mean, other than you, Eric, I mean, I'm not a rental operator, so I can't really speak to this. I mean, I have an opinion, but I can't speak to it.
I would like to hear your opinion.
Yeah. Well, so
I mean, my opinion is that, the tricky thing is you have to follow, whatever the laws are. So, I mean, if they do eventually pay the rent, you know, if they're technically abiding the contract, even in the form of, hey, I've reached the point of eviction notice, but then I actually get you back up to speed and I catch you up, then I don't know what your options are, but I kind of feel like you probably are just, you know, stuck with them. But I don't know. Eric, thoughts on that?
Well, you're obviously gonna have to follow the contract. Like if the contract says that if you pay late, then here's the late fee. And you don't have anything else in the contract. Like if it's still late by day 20, then eviction starts. Like you got to follow whatever contract you signed with them. But just because there's a contract doesn't mean that you guys can have a further agreement to change that. Like some people can just agree to leave. I've had that happen before where the bar was just like, you know, I really don't like this place. I just want to leave. I'm like, okay, you can leave. And we agreed on it and they left before the contract was up. Like I didn't really like them and they were agreed to get out. Like sometimes you need to cash for keys, which kind of sucks, but if it's worth it, you might have to give them some incentive. Like I'll give you $1,000. I just need you out of this place, or $500, whatever, sometimes more, sometimes depends on the situation. You just got to know what your leverage is on that. But your question of would you put more money into it? I mean, we'd have to go over the numbers and stuff. It's just, you know, what are you trying to get out of it? Like if you just want to sell it and get rid of the headache, which is this situation I'm in with my patch rentals and stuff, then it's just a mathematical equation. But don't forget to factor in a bunch of hassle and uncertainty. Like for example, if you say like, oh, well, I could put $20K worth of work into this house and get $30K more sales price, like maybe be really careful about your comps, be really careful about how that works, and also be really careful that the 20K doesn't turn into 35K, a long hassle, a lot of nightmare. And at the end of the day, it's hard to tell if it'll even sell for more. Like in general, if it's livable and it's, you know, like decently looking, then it's just sell it on the open market for as much as you can get. You know, if there's any like big items, like, you know, problems that are not functional in the house, then you want to get those fixed so that the people can have confidence they're buying a decent livable house. But in general, I don't want to sink a lot more money in. Like if I'm going to have to put 20K into the house, then I better be darn sure that it's a real 20K that's not going to float up to 25 or 30K, and that I mean have good contractors to do it that I can trust. It's not going to turn into a hassle or a nightmare project for me, and that I've got trusted people who really actually know how to underwrite, not just any random realtor or appraiser, because a lot of them are way off, but I've got trusted people who really know the market and multiple third-party opinions that tell me, yes, I am certain that with the 20K extra of investment into this, it's going to bump up your price by 50K or like whatever. You know, like I would want a lot of third-party opinion from trusted people. Otherwise, you know, I'm not going to deal with hassle of the 20K. I'm just going to list it and sell it and be done.
Yeah, I cannot sell the property. I would not recover my money there. So I have to wait sometimes. So that's why I need a good strategy there to, you know, to keep going until I'm able to get the money back.
I mean, I'm in that situation too, where I can't sell it and recoup my money. So I'm just selling it and losing some money. But the question is, if you're losing money on the cash flow every month, like, what are you waiting for? You're obviously either waiting for the price to go up or for the value of the house to go down. But even in an amortized loan over 30 years, the value that the principal balance goes down over the next 1, 2, 3 years is very, very small. Appreciation is a gamble.
Comes and goes, right?
Yeah,
the cash always goes.
There's these theories and these ideas that with the rate cuts, the prices will go up by a lot. I mean,
what about the tax write-off too, Eric?
The tax, well, yeah, but you can't actually have the tax write-off. Well, okay, I should be careful with that. You can claim depreciation.
I mean, if you're gonna sell and take a loss, that part of it, tax.
Yes. So I was gonna say, like, just be careful with how what your expectations are. Talk with a really good CPA who understands real estate, because you can have a write-off either as a rental or as a sold loss. It just depends. Like if you sell it, then you take that hit of however much money you lost, and that's something that you can claim. If you just keep it as a rental, you can also, you know, do a depreciation and a cost seg study that'll give you a huge paper loss, but then you've got to pay that back when it sells. It's not just like free money. If you sell it later, And then it's like, you can basically say, oh, I've lost almost all the money on this property, and then you get money back, and you got to pay it back. So you need to talk with somebody who can go through all of your specific numbers, somebody that you trust and that really knows the tax strategy and rental real estate to go into that deeper.
Talking about that, anyone has a good CPA to refer?
That's the golden question. Everybody's looking for a good CPA. A few people have them. A lot of people, even some of the very, very top performers, are frustrated with their CPAs and just wanting to get new ones. So it's a question where I could recommend a few people, but not fully with all my heart, because of just times that I've been frustrated and they haven't given the write-offs that they should have and everything. So it's a challenging question for sure.
Yeah, I don't know that we have a CPA that we just our CPA is not bad by any means. He's just not aggressive when it comes
But not bad is not good enough either, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just not aggressive with the tax code. You really need somebody who really understands the tax code very, very well and knows how to leverage it for your advantage. So really a tax strategist. I don't know if you're familiar with Carlton Dennis, I believe his name is.
No, I'm not.
He's always talking about how at a certain point, now many of us may not be at that point. Usually it's like, you'd be pretty darn close to, I don't think he accepts any clients that are making under 300,000. So it just depends on where you're at in your journey. But, if you're making 300,000 plus, then he's like, then you can leverage the tax code pretty strongly to your advantage at that point. So at that point, it pays to get a tax strategist, which is a CPA. They're a CPA that is also a tax strategist, and they just look for opportunities with you to utilize the tax code as it's intended, to find every break that you can.
Thank you.
But yeah.
CPA.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thanks guys. This has been a fun afternoon talking about all this.
It's morning.
It's afternoon for him, morning for us.
Yeah. And just barely afternoon for me. Before we hop off, does anybody have any last questions? Any quick ones before we call it a Friday?
I got a last minute one for you guys.
Sure.
Yes. So, Eric, when you were mentioning that, after you look at these deals, you underwrite them yourself, and then you get someone experienced in that market and with that asset class to verify and to, make sure the numbers make sense. Are these people, do they provide that like as a service, or are these just people from your network that, that you're aware that they know that market and they can, be an extra set of eyes on your deals?
Justin is the resident expert underwriters. You want to take that one, Justin?
Which type of deals are we talking about underwriting to, though?
So the most recent deal that I did was a co-living one.
Okay.
I raised capital and got an equity position in that. So co-living, for example.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would probably find somebody who's doing co-living and have them scrutinize if they're not involved in the deal. And it's probably worth paying somebody to do that, honestly. Just to keep yourself in good shape. I would offer my underwriting services for anybody that wants to, try and make sure that they're selling appropriately. You can get an appraisal for that too, but if you get an appraisal for just selling a house, a lot of times appraisers will favor the borrower, or the person who's trying to sell the house. They'll be like, hey, here's the most optimistic viewpoint. And sometimes that's a little inflated. If they're working for a lender, they have federal requirements to abide by, and so they're going to be a lot more tight when they work with a lender. So anyway, which is not really beneficial to somebody. But for your particular use case, co-living, absolutely, I would look for somebody who's got experience and then just pay them to do it and make sure they're not involved in the project. So they're scrutinizing it from a total third-party unbiased viewpoint.
Perfect.
That's just,
And
especially if you have very little or no confidence in your own underwriting ability. Yeah.
Perfect. That makes sense. And so you provide underwriting as a service as well, Justin, for other
If
asset
somebody
classes?
wanted to pay me to do underwriting, yeah, I would do that. Yeah. It would be, I'll only do single family properties. I'm not going to get into like multifamily and RV parks or any of that stuff now.
Awesome.
But I can turn around and underwrite, pretty quickly and just at least give people a comp analysis to let them know like what is this house actually worth,
Awesome.
Well, it'll be conservative.
Yeah. Better to be conservative always, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. These are tremendously helpful.
Cool.
Yep.
Good to hear that, man.
Glad you're welcome and glad to see you guys on here. I gotta get rolling, so I'm gonna hop off.
All right.
Gerald, I'd like to get in touch with you. How do I do that?
With me?
Yeah.
I'll shoot
I
my
am
number.
always chasing the Brazilians.
Absolutely. I'll shoot you my number right now in the group chat.
Okay,
good.
very good.
I'll
Thank you.
leave this open here
Thank
for
you,
just
guys.
there you go. Let me know when you have his number and I'll turn off the live stream.
Okay, I will. Let's see. Just wait for him.
I just sent it right there.
Where?
Happy to connect.
Where is it? I don't see it. In the chat, you said?
Yeah. I can also just say it out loud if you just want to write it down.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
650
650
630
630
4824.
4824.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. I'll send you my number. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend. Thank you,
guys.
everybody.
Appreciate it.
All right.
And Eric, you have to tell me about your new house. Okay.
Take care, Yara.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care.